Everybody, welcome back into Bayou Time. Harry McCullough here. We're talking about the Terrebonne Parish Animal Shelter, and of course, Valerie Robinson's here, the manager over there, to talk to a little bit about it. You guys are getting back on track. Hurricane Ida kind of kicked everything back, but just, you know, everything going on afterwards, animals kind of running around sometimes. You guys have had your hands full, but it is springtime, and springtime is kind of the time where we do some adoptions and that kind of stuff. I guess you do that year-round, huh?
We do it year-round, but right now is the time that we kind of start promoting our adoptions heavier because we see a bigger influx in the animals that come through our shelter. And so because we're seeing more animals come through, we are trying to push adoptions. And because we're pushing adoptions, we're doing a half-price adoption fee for dogs. So it's normally $50. So right now you can adopt for $25 through the end of April. And that pays for the spay or neuter of the dog, vaccinations, microchipping, heartworm testing, all kind of great things. Honestly, it's about $350 to $400 worth of medical supplies and medical services that go into that, all for $25, and that includes a registration of the microchip for lifetime. So it's a really great deal for $25.
That really is.
Yeah, and you find your best friend. I mean, that's the best part about it is finding a really good family member to add for $25.
Right. I've adopted dogs before. It was always over $100 in Lafayette or in North Shore and that kind of stuff. So that's a tremendous value. We didn't introduce Maggie though.
Maggie's my little friend today. She is a 6-week-old kitten. She came with her sister Maisie, who's sleeping next to me. So she and Maisie are up for adoption. Their adoption fees are also $25, which includes the same thing for dogs. She's a little antsy and kind of camera shy. So
yeah, no, she's doing great. But I love her colorings and the stripes. Now, there's a tiger and what's the other one?
So the pattern for Miss Maggie, I don't know if the camera can see, is that she actually has a tabby pattern, and what would be called a torby or a torty tabby. So that orange kind of coloring that she has in her suggests that she has like a torty in it with a tabby. So she's a little more unique than the others that we see, but I mean they're all filled with love.
Who's ever seen a bad looking kitten though, right? They're all good looking and I shouldn't say that. All cats are good looking too. Hey, so let's talk about a little bit more about the adoption special. So if folks come over, they can come check them out, and you guys have a foster program that goes kind of hand in hand with
Goes hand in hand. We're actually expanding our foster program right now, and we're really excited about that because one of the things that we tend to see is that dogs don't leave the shelter because they're just not getting exposure. And so one of the things that we've done is add a dog day out program to our foster program, and also a pajama party program. And so that dog day out program looks like you can kind of come in to the shelter, take a look and see what we might have. To pick a dog to take on a field trip, a short field trip for the day. Even if you're on your lunch break and you want to come and hang out with the dog and you want to take him out, if you will, it's just a dog day out. He gets a little bit of an outing. So if you're in the area and you say, well, I'm going to lunch and I want to spend, a couple of hours hanging out, take a dog, out of the shelter for just a little while, bring him back by the end of the day. There's no commitment. It's a win-win. It's a win-win for you. You get to hang out with the dog for a little while, and it's a win-win for the dog because the dog gets out of the shelter and he gets to be seen. What we know is that foster homes and those people who are caring for them or attached to them in some way will be advocates and promote those dogs. So it's really, really a win-win. The other one is a pajama party. And so that one's kind of cute where the dog can be fostered for a short-term temporary. That could be over the weekend where they just spend a couple of nights at your house and have a pajama party. Where the foster program is designed to, again, just get the dog out and seen. So that's one of the things that we are promoting very heavily right now is to help get our dogs out of the shelter. They really are great dogs, and sometimes they're just not seen enough.
Yeah. You can be a foster, really, and y'all take care of it. Go get it every day.
Yes.
And I'm just kidding.
There's no.
But look, anybody that's ever had a dog or gets attached or spends any time with it, any kind of pet, and I think that's kind of what you're trying. What the thing is, right? You become attached, and it could be your best friend forever.
It could, and if that's not what you're looking for, is not the long-term commitment. You can simply just come in and give a little bit of time for the dog and help out. It's what we've seen is the tremendous difference in dogs getting out of the shelter for short term. Those people who are attached, even if it's just for a little while, they'll promote that dog and tell everybody how great that dog was, who may not have seen it before because the dog is in the shelter and not out in the community. community.
And that's got to be the biggest fear, right? Like, I don't know if I can handle this breed, or maybe it's too much for me. So this is a great way to go, I can handle a big dog, or I don't want to handle a big dog, I want a smaller dog.
Exactly. It's commitment free, so you're not saying, I'm taking this dog for its whole life. You're saying, I'll take it for a spin around and get a cheeseburger and see how that goes.
Yeah, they'll eat a cheeseburger for sure. Hey, so you can volunteer, you can spend time, y'all always looking for help in that ways too, right?
We are always looking for volunteers. There's a slew of things that happen at the animal shelter. I know it seems like we, just have snuggling puppies and kittens, but there's a lot of other things that take place. Everything from kind of making the treats to cleaning cages to, I think everything, errand running. There's so many things to do. One of the biggest things that we ask too is for those who say, I can't come to the shelter, our Facebook page is one of those things that if you're sharing our social media, you're also volunteering by helping out, by telling the next person about us, because you might not be ready for a pet, but somebody else in your family or in your friends box might be interested, and you just never know. So when you're following us and you're sharing our information, it does get the word out, and it does help us. So if you can't come in physically volunteer, that's another way.
Right. So again, it's 100 Government Street in Gray. And you can see the website there, and like I say, like it and share, repeat, and, retweet, whatever you're going to do. But spring for the next month, you can get half price on dogs on the adoption, and again, that's well over $100. So that's definitely a great bargain, and you'd be helping out. You said about 30, 35 dogs, so that would really help out for
Currently,
sure.
Yeah.
She's with Maggie and Maisie. Maisie? Yeah,
this is Maggie.
Two beautiful cats. And
taking a nap.
She is not. She's not worried about what's going on out here. She looks great, and it's a beautiful time. So let's get that out of the way, right? No rabbits or chickens, and unless you live on a farm or you plan on raising some chickens down the road for food.
Exactly. So we don't
Eggs,
want to encourage. We don't want to encourage short-term commitment fines for Easter. What we are always advocating for is the long term. So if you really are interested in, raising rabbits, then fine, great. It's a wonderful time to get them. But if you're not, and you're thinking that it'd be just a cute, quick, snap of the picture on Easter morning for the kids, it is definitely not the Easter present to give. They do come with responsibilities, chickens and, rabbits and things like that. They're cute, and it's like I said, a cute photo, op, but it is definitely not one of those things that you want to have to deal with, because you do have to constantly care for them, and they do live, to be years worth of care. So yeah.
They may leave you something, but it's not chocolate. It may look like chocolate, but it's not chocolate. So they're not going to bring you nothing but goodies. It's going to be responsibility to take care of.
It's not the gift that keeps on giving.
Exactly. It is cool, and you can adopt. Obviously, they're always looking, and y'all got a special, half price, $25 special on dogs and cats for the next month. It's always $25 for cats, and that's when Maggie and Maisie come in. They could be adopted right now.
Yes, they can. So the half price adoption fee is essentially to try to help our dogs move quicker out of our shelter. We are nearing capacity, and when that happens, we try to move as many animals out with adoptions that we possibly can. So it does help to lower the adoption fee. It gets attention. This price, though, still comes with all of the things that you would get with a normal adoption fee. So we're not doing half price and half the services. We're doing full services and half the price. And so you get spay neuter, vaccines, the microchipping, all of those things, the testing, all of those things for the $25. It's about $300 to $400 worth of medical services that you're getting right off so you don't have to run out to the vet and go and spend $400 on your new pet. We've done that for you ahead of time. Right.
No, that's great. So you guys are part of the cat initiative. That's Operation Whiskers. That's a 5-parish initiative. I guess after the storm, a lot of cats got left behind. A lot of them, people wherever had to move, things happened, and a lot of animals were left out there just to let nature take its course. And now we see a lot of kittens like Maggie and all. So tell me a little bit more about Operation Whiskers.
Exactly. So Operation Whiskers was developed after Hurricane Ida. Immediately after Hurricane Ida, we responded to the emergent situations such as abandoned dogs, abandoned cats, animals that were in danger. And so that took us a couple of months. As you know, Hurricane Ida was pretty devastating for us. And so that took us a couple of months to kind of get back on track. In the meantime, we really couldn't do much for cats other than feed them in place, the community cats, that is, outdoor cats. Those cats, we really couldn't do anything for them other than feed them in place and provide some food for the community and some supplies that we were giving out, but there really wasn't a whole lot that we could do. So a few months later, those parishes that we mentioned, the Jefferson, Orleans, Plaquemines, Lafourche, and Terrebonne, we all got together. The shelter directors decided that we were heavily impacted and that we needed to do something to help the cats. And so we started Operation Whiskers, and that's the community cat initiative that basically started by spaying and neutering the community cats in our community. And so those cats were just out there reproducing and fending for themselves. A lot of caregivers were displaced, and so we had to really start from scratch to find out what was happening in our parish. We took the time to do some assessments, field assessments that looked like my team going out in the field saying, hey, how can we help you? We also did this online on our Facebook page. That's how we've reached most people, by saying, hey, how can we help you guys? And what we've heard is a massive response to, we need help with the cats. It's just, they're breeding out of control and we need help. And so what Operation Whiskers is all about is reducing the chance that we'll continue to spread and grow cats. What we want to do is stop them where they are now. So that, unfortunately, even though the kittens are cute, we just don't need any more. There's too many. And they're all throughout the parish. I can't tell you how many times we talk about, people think, oh, well, they don't have cats in this area, or it's everywhere in our parish, and it's everywhere in the state of Louisiana, in the country, really. But really, down the bayous and those areas that were heavily affected, we definitely meant
that's a good example,
a perfect example of what we were out there doing. That's our field team out there setting traps to trap them, and then we spay or neutered them, vaccinated them, ear tipped them, gave them flea preventative, and brought them back to the community caregivers.
They can survive. They'll be fine.
And what we find is that community cats have caregivers, that someone is caring for them, even though you don't see it or know it, that someone, and honestly, it's most of the time, we kind of laugh because people think that they're the only caregivers, but it's usually like George the tomcat goes to your house in the morning for breakfast, and then Miss Ann's house down the street for lunch, and then probably travels to another location. So most of the time we see that they have more than one caregiver.
For sure. No, it's great. And look, a great way to get involved. So you can always check you out on the website. We love them now that they're here, but we'd like to do more where we don't have too many of the little kitties. Huh?
Exactly. And I can't stress that enough, that the goal for Operation Whiskers is really it falls under the umbrella of our community cat program. And so we all know that there are so many community cats already existing that we don't need any more. So our goal is to really reach out to the community and impact those cats that are existing in our community to stop the reproduction. And then over time, you'll see that, those numbers start to dwindle. So our goal is to stop the reproduction of those community cats. And when we started the initiative called Operation Whiskers, that was with a goal of about 2,500 cats amongst the 5 parishes.
2,500 cats.
To do those surgeries by the end of May was our goal. And so 800 of those, the goal for
all of these little cages are cats.
All of those cages are cats. They're covered so that they don't stress out. Once we set traps in the community.
Right.
And once we catch the cats, we bring them in. For these events, we've done 200 cats in 2 days. So our vet team did 100 cats in 1 day, spay or neutered, vaccinated them, ear tipped them, put flea preventative on them. And so that's a lot of work, and that's a lot of behind-the-scenes work. You can imagine that they were pretty tired at the end of the days. And for the entire week, our field team starts trapping early in the week, and then they release in the afternoons.
So they're doing 100 a day, pretty much. So the first 2 days they do 200, and you want to do 2,500.
So the 2,500 is going to be split between the 5 parishes.
Right.
So our goal in Terrebonne was 800. And so...
How many do you think are out there, though?
A lot more.
Yeah.
So our goal is to continue to increase that number. Through Operation Whiskers, we actually are trying to expand that a little bit. We were able to save some funds in the beginning, so we're thinking that we would be able to hit 1,000 cats. And so we've started, the first event was in the in-town, what we call the in-town area, downtown Houma. And then the second event, which was last month, was in the east side. And that's where, as you know, we were impacted heavily after Hurricane Ida. And that area was definitely, really heavy with cats. And so the last one, which was last week, was the west side. So kind of the Gray and Thibodaux and Schriever areas and part of Houma as well. So we kind of tackled those 3 areas. And so what we're doing right now for the subsequent events is going back to those communities and saying, what did we miss? Who else do we need to get? Estimates are thousands, that there are still thousands more. We know that we still have hundreds that we've identified. And one of the things coming here today is to ask the community to tell us where there are community cats that are not fixed. And so we want to know about those colonies that don't have the ear tip and they've not been fixed, and those are out of control and unmanaged. We need to get that information so we know where to go and we know who to help. There's a lot of people, I can't tell you how many caregivers contact us pleading for us, to help, and we're here to help. And so one of the big things today is to talk about how you can tell us. On our Facebook page, there's a link that you go to. You'll see Operation Whiskers, and it'll have the cute pictures that you just showed. And that says, how can you help? And you click that link and you tell us where these cats are so that we can find the caregivers and give them help. There's a lot of people out there who are feeding cats, and they're just not really managing colonies. And we need them to step up to the plate and say, yes, I have cats. They're outdoors. We need to stop the reproduction. So to contact us and do that. And so then we, start the initiative of coming out and trapping them and spaying and neutering and then returning them back to their locations. So in February, we did 218 cats.
Wow.
In March, we did 222. Last week, we did 162, and we still have many more to go. So we've done already over 600 cats, and that's just since the middle of February.
Wow.
So we have been busy bees at the animal shelter. There's more events to come, and we're looking to expand that through the end of July. We're hoping that our partners, Bissell Pet Foundation was a grantor, and Petco Love and IFAW. There are some organizations that really came forward and supported us with, granting these the big program. So, and it was a lot of money and time. The other thing is, if you're interested in volunteering, you sign and you say, look, that sounds cool. I want to help. I see neighborhood cats. How do I help? There's a variety of things you can do. You can sign up to just say, hey, these are the cats and I'm willing to help you by setting traps on my property and feeding and whatnot. And you can also sign up and say, hey, I want to start trapping cats and, help you guys out with, go and pick them up for you guys and helping with returning them and stuff like that. There's so many things that you can do. We can also take donations of cat food or newspaper, things like that.
What is the ear tip? What does that look like so you can identify one?
That is an excellent question. Actually, on the Operation Whiskers logo, if she can put that back up, it's usually about a third of the ear tip. The tip of the ear is cut across surgically. So you see that little bitty tip on the ear. It's usually a little bit more than that, just for graphic purposes. Right. But the tip of the ear is cut, so that it signifies that the cat has been spayed or neutered, so that we don't have to pick him up again, open him back up surgically, and waste all that time and resources when we can identify him on the street that he's been spayed or
a fight with Mike Tyson.
Or fighting with him.
Either one, he's been having. But no, that's a great way to identify that you're not doing the same ones, and they go back into the community after you guys have done the surgery. You're not just finishing them off over there. So, and I know this is weird, but obviously we need cats to control rodents, pests, all those kind of things.
I am so glad that you brought that up. And I get this call a lot that people just don't understand, why not just pick them up and bring them somewhere else? And that just does not make sense for a couple of reasons. Number one is, the cats already have a caregiver, right? And so they already have a food source established. You can't just simply drop them off into a location that they don't know. They're likely to not survive or thrive and do well. And number two is, they're already reducing your population of rodents and keeping up with those things. We are providing flea preventative when we do spay or neuter them, so that if they did have fleas, we're helping with controlling that as well. But yes, the mice population for those community cats,
that changed too after Ida, right?
That was crazy. Yes.
I'm seeing things that I hadn't seen in a long time after that hurricane. So a lot of things got knocked out of whack for sure, including rodent population. So Valerie, thank you so much, and best of luck. Check y'all out on the website for sure to help out anywhere you can. We'll be right back with more Bite Time right after this.